Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam. Good morning. Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Today is Wednesday, February 1st, 2023. I am definitely inclined to say it is the first day of what traditionally is known as Black History Month. However, I've observed since 2021, Black folks, and we've always sort of had the sentiment that Black history is 365, 24/7. But since George Floyd and all that came out in 2020 about this country, about racism, about systemic structures that attempt to keep us limited, there's an interesting sentiment about Black History Month. So do me a favor. We are waiting on the mayor to join us. I just heard from her team. One of her events ran late, and so she is running a few minutes behind. But let's delve into that a little bit. Are you celebrating Black History Month? Today is February 1st. We are looking at some programming around this month and highlighting those that are making history in the present. But I'm curious, are you celebrating Black History Month? Has it changed for you in the past couple of years? Do me a favor and let me know in the comments. We're going to go in a couple of seconds and check in with folks until the mayor gets here. I just also wanted to let you know this is sort of last minute, but given the nature of things and the time, and we move quickly to hold space to talk about situations that are impacting us, not only here in Boston, but also nationally. And the topic of Black men is definitely more not trending like on social media, but we're talking a lot more about Black men in law enforcement and the demise of Black men at the hands of law enforcement. And it's funny that the music stops. You can hear me clearly. At some point, we're also going to need to have a conversation about Black men and how we need to do better at making sure we don't take ourselves out. With that being said, I want to let you know that tomorrow night at 8 p.m., we are going to have a very authentic, it's a Java After Dark. Many of you have been asking for this. I'm not really happy about the subject. We actually, with Brother Darnell, had a different topic in mind. We were going to talk about arts and activism, but given what's going on, we are definitely switching over to talking with Black men. And I'm simply going to ask the question, how are you? I'm honored to have with us tomorrow night Donald Singleton. He is the owner of Food for the Soul and also a youth worker, advocate, entrepreneur, business owner, studying to be a minister, currently in school taking theology. Also, we will have the mayor's office director of LGBTQ services, Quincy Roberts, who is a part of the Java fam. He will be with us. Also, a good friend and brother, Sean Brown. He is the executive director of Becoming a Man and Becoming a Woman. Or I think it's WOW for women. And so he'll give me the proper breakdown of the acronym. And then we have Brother Leroy Peoples, who is known in this city for being very involved in preventing and responding to incidents of violence. And then we have Brother Anthony Davis that will be with us as well of the Davis system. He is a political strategist. He is a Black man. He is someone who is working in the place of policy and ensuring that elected officials that share our values get elected. But he also is a great organizer, not just in the Black community, but then also in communities, period, and does a lot of organizing and consulting. And so the five of them, we're going to gather at a location. They will not be with us virtually. We're going to get together tomorrow night, and it's after dark. And so I'm letting you know now on two levels. One, we're going to allow the brothers to be real. We're going to set a tone for a safe space. And also, it's going to be raw and uncut. Brother Darnell already shared the flyer and said he drinks his coffee black. So let's go into Java Cafe and see who is in this morning. I have a couple of comments in there that we'll put up when the mayor gets in. But good morning to Sister Debbie. Good to see you in the room this morning. Dow Drumright, good morning to you. Good to see you in the room. Nicole, good morning to you. Good to see you in the room as well. Opal is here this morning and saying, and it just is a testament to what we do here in the Java Cafe. We have impact. Unequivocally, there is impact that happens in here. Good morning. I would just like to thank everyone who reached out to me in my inbox. The prednisone, along with my heart medications, doesn't make for a good cocktail. I'm sorry, but I have to laugh, smile, and pray through the sickness. But my doctor at the end of the week, someone from HUD did reach out to me. I reached back out to them, but they haven't called me back. I will try again when I'm feeling a little bit better. But I just wanted to say thanks, and please keep me in your prayers. Opal, thank you so much for the support. And we are continually praying for you and sending thoughts and positive vibes your way. Sharon Cornelius, good morning. Good to see you in the room this morning. Kelly, good morning to you. Good to see you in the room as well. Sharon's opinion of Black History Month is the best month of the year to be born, the month of love. Sharon's birthday is coming, you all. Nicole's birthday is coming up on Friday as well. Tay, good morning. Good to see you in the room this morning as well. Rena, good morning to you. Good to see you in the room. Quincy, good morning to you. I have to highlight the Black queer movement throughout Black history, which is American history. Absolutely, brother. Mention that tomorrow night when we are together as well. Our mayor just popped in, but we're going to give her, y'all know how I am. We're going to give her a second to breathe and get herself together, and just, Mayor, take a couple of seconds and just breathe and sip some water if you would like, because I know you're coming off an event. Auntie Java, good morning to you. Good to see you in the room. Nicole is saying, in reference to Black History Month, I celebrate Black History Month 365 days a year. Can't relegate our history to just a month. Absolutely. We're going to come back to that in just a few moments. I don't want to continue the mayor's schedule sort of being behind. And so we'll get her in so her next appointment can be kind of on time. But if the team and Mike and them can just give me a few extra minutes, that would be awesome. Mayor, we're going to get ready to bring you in. Mayor, good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing well. And I often, ask and check, how are you doing in general? And it is unfortunate. The last couple of times we've been together, I've had to kind of specifically ask you how you were doing in reference to a lot, not only that's going on locally. Actually, let me switch that. That is not only going on nationally, but locally, kind of different, but impact on sort of the same population. And so I have to ask you, Mayor, how are you doing with what's going on? We'll talk a little bit about some of the response of some in reference to what's going on, but how are you?
It's a lot. You're catching me at a moment where it's been a lot of more intense personal conversations that really weigh on just me as a mom. So it's hard to kind of, I tried not to try not to think about my kids as connected to every bit of the job, but it's also really hard not to personalize. And I'm the kind of person where if I am watching a movie, then I feel really connected to it myself. And unfortunately, we've been watching a little bit of a horror movie all across the country for some time now. We're a month into the year, and the scale of violence of all different kinds is, it's just things. I know, this is how Isaac says it to Isaac Yablo, that numbers don't reset. Sometimes when we keep data and all that, it's like, okay, now we're on 2023 in terms of all the different things that we track, but in real life, for people's experiences and how they feel about their world and community and safety and health, it's just cumulative. And so there's been a lot that's been added on to all of us. I think in the last couple of weeks, especially. And in Boston, I think when it's combined with this, we're in a new year, should be a new time, new day, coming off of State of the City, and some things feel all too familiar in terms of how much work we have left to do and how many families are forever living with these impacts.
Mayor, I also, and I want to, I try to keep things authentic, but not all doom and gloom. But I also want to just mention, as you, as an Asian woman, since the time that we've been together, there was also the incidents that have went on across the country as well. And so we want to name and be sensitive to that as well. You're a mom as a mayor and seeing what's going on with men of color, and then specifically to Asian. You reference mayor to a mom, and I want to set some context to this. So if you give me a second, you remember I used to, when numbers and stuff are like this, and I'll be very honest, and we checked in the other day, I don't want to say the T word, my trauma is activated. And sometimes I used to just haul off and say, nobody cares and nobody's doing anything and people aren't outraged. And I get the sentiment of that reaction and response, to be very fair. And I happened to see a clip yesterday of a mom similar to you, the mom of the 13-year-old that was killed in our city. And what she said was, there isn't enough outrage. And I've heard some sentiment that people are saying that you and the admin do not care. Mayor, how would you respond to that? Which I think you would give some validity to a sentiment of that. But how would you respond to folks that let's be real, there's some pundits that are just, be doing punditry. But those that are feeling this and are living this and have that sentiment, how would you respond to them?
I was actually with my two kids when we got the call that something had happened in Mattapan on Babson Street. We were in Chinatown actually, because it was the big Lunar New Year festival and all the lion dances and all the things, and watching them get to connect with their culture and get to see, like remembering my childhood and feeling, so grateful that I could pass that on in a city like ours where there are events like this, and then getting that call and going straight from there with them to the scene. And I got dropped off, and
okay. I was going to ask, the babies had to.
No. They dropped me off a little bit away. I walked to the scene. They went back home. But just that quick of, okay, even on a day that is supposed to be just celebration in some part of the city, quiet on a weekend, church, family, peace, and we didn't know the details. It took a while for our officers to identify and therefore get in touch and figure out that Tyler was 13 years old. We were, there's no way to tell a family that, this situation is better than that or this or that, but 13 years old is a baby.
Yes, ma'am.
And all that was ahead, spending time with his grandparents, we kicked into motion as my team and all of our various support services do on scene there that day, connections, and it's not possible to do right at that point by any family. It's just not possible to do right when you have already lost everything. And so we're going to continue to try to do what we can and be there to support. This is a family that has experienced what so many of our families do in Boston, the push and pull of, Miss Lawrence has been so brave and real with all of us in sharing that this had been a set of systems where maybe she and her family didn't feel like keeping him in Boston with the disparities in school system and was the right thing to do. And she has done everything possible to give and to sacrifice. And I just, again, as a mom, that feeling of you'll do anything for your kids. And in trying to map that onto what our city needs at large for all of our kids, there are big things that take a long time to change. And we're pushing every day from every possible angle. But even as things kind of get better month after month, they add up to year after year. And then we have families who,
Mayor, if I can chime in, because I'm going to be very transparent with the audience, y'all. The awareness of mental health and whatnot is, yes, this is our mayor, big responsibility. I also have to take this time to note, when she referenced to the children, we in our history outside of Mayor Kim Janey have not had mom mayors. And so even with this notion of do not care and trying to manage whatnot and your time, I think this is a time to just name that there's a different dynamic that comes with being a mom in your response to things, but there's a different dynamic of being the mayor and being a mom, because you have to center family in your two sons. And so I heard that and need to name that away from this. And for the trolls, this is not a pass. This is reality. I have moms. I have moms in here, Mayor, who have lost children. Charmaine Burrell is in here. Teresa Minus, the aunt of others, in here. There are moms in here. Miss Amani, Reverend Amani, is in here as well, and they are consoling and sharing with you. With that, Mayor,
I've just had too many conversations with moms who have done everything right.
And
We've done everything, and our system have failed them. So,
Mayor, as I often say to people,
every day,
as I often say to guests, if you want me to give you a second, come off a camera or whatever, I have to give you that grace as a human. I appreciate your willingness to be real. You reference to the mom, and you reference to the outrage, and you reference to the pain and hurt. What is it? How do we get from that into sustainable action? There's some talks since we last talked. The proposal got forwarded. I got a call from your team yesterday, and where are we with the pain and hurt? What some have said, the thoughts and prayers. I couldn't post that the other day because for me, it felt very empty.
Yeah.
And so how do we get from the hurt, the pain, the identification that you have with these moms to action?
I know you've had conversations with Isaac already, and he'll continue to be a presence on this platform and in our community. I think I really love his framework of thinking about 3 categories of how we bring together all the pieces. I think one issue is that sometimes we do think about these separately, right? Lived experience. He says it.
Mayor, can I challenge you for one thing?
Yeah.
And I say this with all due respect, and I love you. I'm going to ask you to speak as a mom that's the mayor, and not a mayor as the mom. We know that our mayor holds all of this stuff in her head, and then it all comes together when answering questions. Talk to us. Yes, you're the mayor, but give us if you were talking to Sister Amani and those that, give us that purview, ma'am, with all due respect, ma'am. Give us that perspective.
We can't keep thinking about tracking some numbers and statistics as separate from as something that a certain group of people do, and then sitting with moms and families who have gone through what no one should experience as a separate category, and then thinking about how we build our school systems and housing and all the ways that we are shaping the decisions that families have to make, and what is the right and best thing to do for my kids as a separate conversation. And so we're really trying to bring it all together, and that can only come from starting with and centering the community's real experiences. And so over this next month, now we're in February, February and March, we're taking it directly to listening, and listen, in partnership with you, ensuring that this isn't just the most familiar experience.
Okay, because I was going to say, I can say it if you don't want to. It's not just a bunch of BS.
Yeah, and that, I guess what makes me angriest about all of this is that it's not even new anymore. Any of this, right? It's not even, you read the headlines about something that happened in California, or now we're on our 5th or however many mass shooting of the year already in just like 4 weeks. And again, if you just look about the numbers, fine. There's a lot of cities that would be very grateful to be where Boston is today. But
that is a real fact. That it doesn't.
I have had a couple conversations recently about. Anyway, I won't get into all the ways in which I've been trying to work through this. But how do we pull all the pieces together? They've been living in. Even if we are moving in a direction where we understand everything is about the whole child, everything in a family's life, I think we still haven't been living that in how we're making decisions and directing resources. And so that's the big focus of February and March. We're starting planning for our summer safety plan now, right? So unlike previous years where maybe you hear about it starting in May or closer to summer, this is a year-round partnership, and we're going deep this month and getting started in a different way.
Mayor, thank you again. I want to be sensitive to time and get you back, on track with the team, because it's good to stay in good graces with Phyllis and them. But I don't want to, and I knew Ruth, and Ruth, I think you knew what the mayor was referencing to as far as the, in the last week, there's been 4 or 5, but Ruth Zakum is in, mayor from Mass Coalition Against Gun Violence, and we're up to 52 in January. And just to explain to folks, the way mass shootings are categorized, if it's 4 or more people shot, whether non-fatal or fatal. And so, that is something that we have to factor. Mayor, I really am. I told Michael I was challenged today because I think you can attest to the growth observed, because if this was about 3 or 4 years ago, and I'm not saying with you or whatever, but I'd have a very different cadence. But that fire is still there. It's just been redirected in a manner that, as you said, and we've been saying for years, that the discombobulation of things and lack of intersectionality. And you mentioned to us before, y'all were meeting every week about doing case studies and whatnot. And so that is that younger piece. The last thing I want to ask you about is there is this returning of older men and some women that, got a 20-year sentence 20 years ago. And so there's that element of re-entry that is a part of this as well. And so I know that we center our children in the prevention and intervention, and in some what David Wright calls postvention, but that 24 to 30, 35 for men, where is that attention for that? Because there have been reports that they've been putting, as Brother Donnell says, battery packs in some of the younger. And so there's that balance of working with the younger and the older. Where are we? What is going to be the administration's approach to helping those that age group of brothers that are involved?
Yeah, we have, I mean, we know in every bit of the challenges that we're trying to solve as a city, we see ways that we have not had the right connections, and so people are falling through the cracks again, even though they're trying to do everything that they can and get on a good path. But we did a survey of folks who are at Mass and Cass on a regular basis, for example, and there were basically three big categories of experiences that people had had previously. Either they had been in a residential substance use treatment program and had taken the time and personal commitment to go and get treatment, but then when that program ended, there was no next housing, and so ended up living on the street again. Or they had been seeking mental health treatment from the state Department of Mental Health, DMH, and again, not the housing component along with it. And then the third category of a significant number of people were returning from behind the wall. And so when we don't put all the pieces together in one place for people to say, here's how you are supported when you're transitioning back and returning and getting reconnected with all the pieces of your life all of a sudden, that's the work of our Office of Reentry. They've been staffing up, they've been partnering, and again, in all the different places, it's not just kind of one thing that they're doing, but ensuring that they're pulling in the resources that people need as they're thinking about the totality of their lives.
Mayor, thank you. The last thing I'll say is, and I hope you and folks don't get me, but if I heard you right, I did hear a little bit that the healing tour is going to go ahead and get started in some iteration.
Have you not been told that?
No. I got it. So I didn't.
Sorry. I didn't know that was news.
So I didn't get the official word. We talked with Chief Pierre yesterday, who, it kind of lends to the multi-talentedness you have of some folk. I'm sure you're aware that Chief Pierre has had her own personal experience in this space. And so we got to talk yesterday. And I believe because of things that have happened in a couple of days, we didn't get to finish our convo, but so the healing tour is coming.
So there's a couple of again, not wanting to talk to people in all different ways from all different sides and like, now think about this only, when everything's interrelated. Dr. Kevin Simone has been planning a kind of more formal and deep set of community sessions around mental health in particular. Isaac has been planning listening sessions as he gets into the role. And so I think using this platform of Healing Tour as a way to explore the interconnectedness of all of those issues, I think would be a great way to engage more people and engage more people authentically.
Awesome. Ramilda, who was a part of that, is in the room. And Mayor, you get this. This area is unfortunately dominated by a lot of men, but there are some powerful sisters that do a lot of work in this space. And so, and I know you two have talked, but this one is very intricate along with others, but is very intricate. And if there could be some way that you two could connect one-on-one and have a one-on-one convo, because this is one of my old young people, and y'all know Ramilda now. I knew Ramilda when. And so she has the life experience, but also the maturity to be a very huge influence. So Mayor, thanks for mentioning that it is Ramilda. Ramilda, you hush. She's on here commenting and tell me don't say stuff, but she's an impactful sister in our community. So Ramilda, we heard it here that we're going to figure out this healing tour piece, and then the sustainable part post the healing tour is where we need that major commitment.
Ro was looking great at State of the City, but I definitely need to follow up and sit down one-on-one.
I'm sorry, and she's letting us know right now she's not Ro. She's Romilda. Romilda looked wonderful at the State of the City. And I'm glad we had this opportunity, Mayor, to sort of end in some level of joy, because it is a lot in your stead as a mom. And so thank you so much. Or she's letting me know she knows Ro, not fine. Anyway, y'all fix that up when y'all talk. But Mayor, I'm glad that we're able to end with understanding the post conversation work that needs to be done, but not sending you off of here, you know, in the moment of the impact moments, one of. So Mayor, thank you. And we'll be in touch. And I look forward to this, getting this thing done and working with Isaac and the commission, the men's commission as well. And so Mayor, thank you. Please, I'm only 3 minutes over. Take a
Thank
couple
you
of
for using
minutes.
your platform and always creating space for us, and
Yes,
really appreciate everyone's comments on the side.
they're in here. But please take a couple of minutes, drink water, go breathe, meditate, and before you go into the next thing, because we need you for the long haul.
All right. I'll see you next time. Thanks,
Thank you,
everyone.
Mayor. Appreciate you. Hey, everyone. That was interesting. That was definitely interesting. I was texting with her team when they was telling me she was running late. I was like, bro, this topic has me nervous. I'll tell you, the other day when the helicopters were here, yeah. And I'm also aware that there's a population that believes my evolving hospitableness and maturity is giving folks a pass. No, it's understanding from the most petty understanding. You get more bees with honey. With this person, the mayor, there's a relationship of over 10 years. She is a woman. That's about that. For me to be able to facilitate a convo in this space, in the space that I've been in, ain't about a pass. It's about the person, namely me. And trust and belief in the back. You heard what the mayor just said. 3.5 months we met, Zoom, iterations, drafts. The healing tour is coming. What is the healing tour? We are going to get data, and in the areas that are having the most impact, and eventually will this model go citywide? I'm not sure, but right now we need to focus on the areas most impacted. We're going to come and listen. First meeting ain't a bunch of presentations and talking heads and electeds. No, we need to hear from community and we need to heal. Second meeting, some conversation about where things are, blah, 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 blah. Third meeting, more concrete. Okay, who from the community wants to step up and help organize? Who wants to do this? Then we take that community piece, match it with city support with a line through that S, and we get organizers on a regional level, and they work with the citizens to make sure that there's a monthly meeting where ISD, parking, all of them, the things that lead to the root causes of violence is what we need to address coming up to get in the middle. And then that 1%, and that's where Brother Donnell, Leroy, and Isaac and all them come in, and that's not my wheelhouse. Trust and believe that the effort that's been putting in, and all along, the community is going to be able to give feedback. So change it, Shamika. How will you be collecting the data? Seems like both qualitative and quantitative. Shamika, I agree. Shut up, Ramilda. Shamika, you got, oh shoot, y'all done got me. Here we go with data. So you definitely have to do the quantitative, but the qualitative, it is, if you would agree, is more anecdotal. And so numbers don't, as the mayor said, numbers don't always reflect the experience. And so the other piece, y'all, is everybody in our community still to this point isn't aware of resources. Believe it or not, we want to think that we're impactful and effective at outreach. No, we need to change the concept to in reach. All right, y'all done got me started, Jesus. Y'all keep calling on dudes, these young Ramilda. We've been saying that for a minute because Jesus, y'all. All right. It's 9:38. I need to get out. You know what? Let's go to 9:45. There's another part of this conversation we need to have while I got y'all attention. We ain't hit 30s in a minute. Parents, Ramilda put a response on Facebook earlier, and she said, James, the parents of this generation is us, and we have to heal. Brother Kirk has been saying, and it drives me crazy to hear him say it, but he's like, forget the kids. We need to heal us. And so, Ramilda, you're right. There's a few more older that got, some of these kids, they had their little second generation having kids at 45 and 50. But parents, Ramilda, I wish you could, Ramilda, where you at? Are you at a computer? Because I'll send you the link, Jesus, and we can stay here for a little while. And Ramilda, I here. Mothers, y'all do me a favor. Add Ramilda to the prayer list. I've been listening to her, and we've been, and for y'all that may see comments, just like me and Thaddeus, me and Ramilda are fine. Don't perceive what you see on social media as her and I. But in the last couple of days, I've been able to, y'all just pray for Ramilda. This work is not hard. I mean, not hard. This work is hard and not easy. So keep her. You got Mama, Ramilda, Mama Java praying for you and all the other mothers. Dina, that point. But then the other thing we have to, this piece right here, and I just thought about this. There's a lot of our population that don't know they need to heal. They don't know that they're quote unquote sick. It is, God, today. It is such a normal, my therapist told me that, James, I've shared with y'all being molested and growing up and all this other stuff. You had to adopt ways to survive. Then they became habits. Then they became a lifestyle. Then they became who you were. And so much of the trauma and life experience of what these young people, and we always say the men, but there's what you got a woman right here who has been purposeful about her healing. But there's a population of our brothers and sisters that don't know they need to be healed. They don't know any other thing. Jesus, God, I got to get off of here. Lord have mercy. Let me tell y'all something, because there's some folks, there's the news folks that watching on Twitter that go and take the mayor's interview and put it in their news. They do say, hey, mayor said on job with Jimmy, but y'all need to put that hyperlink in there so they can go. I'm sorry, I'm in a whole different place. Dina, that is a part too, because we have to be real about the fact that when there is awareness. All right, Dina's keeping me serious, and Ramilda's in here clapping. It's so sad to watch people falling who you try and help, but they refuse to help themselves. Absolutely. And then Ramilda's making a good point. Them psych books Becky's studying doesn't apply to us. We've said that often. So, yes, Charmaine, and thank you for being the worker you were. Charmaine, no. Charmaine, I can't wait to get you booked. Timing is everything. But I've watched you, woman. Oof. All right, y'all, we in a whole different place today. I don't know what done happened. Yes, I said what done happened. But this is the essence of past couple of days. We've been back in the sentiment of what Java Cafe was in 2020. Oof. Ramilda, you coming? I just wish I knew it was you. Hey, Eliza, keep going until some. Eliza, yo, so see. Oh God, I feel the spirit of my father in this place. While we're in this, and we got all 27 of y'all in here. Y'all think I'm talking. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, we'll be casting live these brothers: Donnell Singleton, Quincy Roberts, Sean Brown, Leroy Peoples Jr., and Anthony Davis. The life experience across those guests, you're going to hear a perspective from the only perspective that was not, and it was not intentional. I'll just own my unawareness to do it. I did not schedule someone who identifies as a trans man. But you're going to hear almost every perspective of a Black man. And Quincy can speak to that some because of his experiences in supporting folks. But 99.9% of every experience of Black men will be identified tomorrow night. And we're going to just ask a question. How are you? I'm getting off of here, y'all. I done got hot. Thank you, Mother. On that prevention piece, I agree. That and Sean can do both, but you know, the brothers that we know, Ramilda, they ain't going to BAM. Would they be dope staff for BAM? Heck yes. Oh God. All right, I got to get off of here. Mothers, light a candle. Also keep. Today is Tyree Nichols' service, you all. So please keep that mother in prayer. Needed. All right, guys. I'm just all over and done. He said, we wake up and look at the news, Facebook, YouTube, before we thank him for waking us up. We watch what we watch helps us form us. So we need to be very mindful. That part, Dina. Janine Yancey. Is this Counselor Yancey's daughter that's in here, Jesus? Ramilda, I'm not going to cut off, but and I'm glad I know where this is coming from this morning. And I'm glad it's coming out like this and not in the old, because y'all know there's some old videos that aren't as refined. But it just, and I've used the model of cussing folks out. And it got some attention, but it was not, it was reactive. I reacted, they reacted. Now we're responding. This thing with the healing tour on the back end, the sustainable, and we're not probably going to see the impact probably 3-5 years out. Let's just be honest. But we can't keep being reactive to that 1% that feel they have no other choice but to shoot. And at the same time that we can walk and chew gum, work with these younger ones that are coming up. And in the 3 to 5 years, as the programming and the reality and the touch points of that 1% that feel they, and notice the words I'm using, feel they have no other choice but to shoot. Now, there's a 0.3% of them that are just ninjas, and no matter what you do, they just about that life. That's a whole nother meeting. But if there's not a coming together of intentional coming together of working with the younger in a preventative and holistic wraparound of the family and community back end healing tour, Donnell, Leroy, Isaac, and Jesus Lord, who else was you in here saying y'all? There got to be a midpoint to where in the middle, prevention is doing better, intervention is doing better. It can be both and. It doesn't have to be either or. There's always been this fight of prevention and intervention, and prevention staff are getting more money, and intervention staff, they getting money, but they ain't doing the thing with it. Last thing I'll say is the city and the state, and they got to be sure that where this money is going are going to programs and entities that are fulfilling, whose mission it is to either really be on the prevention side, and I don't want to say or, because some folks can do both, But don't be tapping into money for intervention and the 1%, and you doing crocheting meetings and baking cookies. Now, let me be fair. Will some brothers do that? Will some brothers that feel they have no other choice but to shoot might crochet you a freaking scarf and bake you a cupcake? Maybe. But y'all know what I'm saying. A lot of these people out here know how to write good grants and got relationships and had relationships and been grandfathered. This administration ain't dug up all the bodies yet. They don't know where they don't know where all the bodies are buried yet. You still got mid-level staff that came in during Kevin White and Flynn before all this wonderful change came in, and that when the mayor says something, it gets to a certain point in some of these departments. Jesus God. Y'all have a wonderful day. I'm getting out of here. I wish I could play Sam Cooke. A change. It ain't happened yet, but it's coming. Ooh, I felt my shoulder want to go up. After all of that, here come a mother being a mother. Did you eat? Nope. Actually, I'm lying. Did I get up earlier this morning? And no, I didn't. But I got French toast in there. I'm going to go eat shortly. And some dark green. I got broccoli because I'm trying to be more balanced. Poverty pimps. I ain't heard that term in a long time. Shit, Ramilda. I know when you see that, you about to go in. I ain't heard that term in a long time. I am. But here go Teresa and Mama Java. I'm going to eat and drink, y'all. I am. But let me tell y'all, this morning, these last few minutes, this has been good for me. What did ST say? Let it out. We're going to end with that. Let me get this queued up here. I think that's a good way for us to finish up this morning. I feel so good. Y'all don't understand. Y'all don't understand what it is to know what our community is dealing with, the impact, to have worked in City Hall and know that just a few emails, a couple of meetings, old school, get that white post-it paper up in the Eagle room, write this stuff out, connect the dots, draw lines, redraft job descriptions, reallocate funds to different space. Y'all know I'm feeling this because the hand is going. Lord Jesus. Maybe that Freudian slip I said about Ramilda a few minutes ago wasn't applicable to her. But in general, this may not be hard. It comes down to three things. I've been saying the 3 C's for years. Communication, coordination, and collaboration. Bam, there we go. That's all you need. Let me get this let it out up here, Jesus. I don't think it's going to cut me off. We pray it doesn't. But if it does, we're at the end of the show. So we're good. All right. You can go check out this song on Apple Music as well. Ramilda, do me a favor. Don't type "they don't hear you," because I'm sitting up here getting ready to queue up the video. And I thought the tech was messing. I looked and saw your comment. I was like, I'm glad that we were able to be real, but not ending in just total doom and gloom. Rick Ross I done heard some lyrics about Rick Ross the other day, Ramilda, that aren't favorable toward consensual. Anyway, I saw it on social media, so I'm not going to repeat it, but he got a couple of lyrics in there that I was like, all right, we're going to end with Let It Out, y'all. Bye, brother ST Bullock. Definitely a good brother. I encourage you, Ramilda, listen. If you got iPhone, go to Apple Music and look up Good Grief Project by ST Bullock. This thing, bro, it will bless your life. All right, y'all. I'm gonna let y'all go. And we'll be talking soon. Y'all have a great day. I'm tired. So y'all know that means that today was a lot. All right. We'll see y'all tomorrow morning at 9 8. Tomorrow's Thursday. Who's coming tomorrow? Tomorrow's the 3rd. Y'all stuck with me tomorrow, I think. Y'all have a good day. Talk to you soon. Peace, everybody.
Let it out. Yeah. If you gotta cuss, cry, scream out loud, let it out. Said it's the one time. It's the one time you don't have to explain why, let it out. How?
That's why I be messing up. That's the wrong one. Hold on. I think there's a video of him doing this. Hold on. All right. I've been killing. You know what? I can get it from here. I've been killing this project. See, Ramilda, why I got nervous when you said they can't hear me. All right, ST Bullock. Where is the video? Good grief. All right, so I think he may have. Hold on, y'all. All right, here we go. Kelly, thank you. Tomorrow is February 2nd. I done sat up here and got all excited. Let it out, the video version. All right, y'all have a wonderful day. Peace.
Honestly, I want the world to have that final release. Yeah. I want the world to have that final release. Yeah, I want somebody to play that work. Yeah. I want somebody to play before they start their day. Like, yo, before you get started, whatever, get this out so you can do what you got to do. Get it out before you go, before you move, before you whatever. Get that out. And then they'll go. Okay, I'm ready. Let's go. This song is called Let It Out.
Let it out.
Yeah.
If you gotta cuss, cry, scream out loud, let it out.
It's the one time.
It's the one time you don't have to explain why, let it out.
How long it takes is up
How
to
long
you.
it takes is up to you to decide. Let it out. And let it out till you feel good.
Come on, say let it out.
Let it out.
Say if you gotta curse, cry.
If you gotta cuss, cry, scream out loud, let it out.
Yeah, it's the one time you don't have to explain it. Yeah. How long it takes is up to you.
It's up to you to decide. Let it out.
And let it out till you feel good. Oh yeah. Your pain is your pain. Your heartache and pain. Loved ones are gone. You won't see them again. Been hurt so bad, but how long will it last? Gotta get it out somehow. You gotta let it out somehow. Say, if you gotta curse, cry.
If you gotta cuss, cry, scream out.
However, it's the one time you don't have
to
explain why. Come on, how long it takes is up to you, yeah, to decide and let it out till you feel good. Come on, y'all, everybody, let it out. Say if you gotta curse, cry. Out loud, let it out. It's the one time you don't have to explain why. Let it say how long it takes is up to you to decide. Let it and let it out till you feel good. Yeah.